Welcome to the NNBN podcast, talking with businesses, charities and organisations across Northamptonshire.
Sponsored by Poppy Design Studio. Find us at poppydesignstudio.com.
So if you've ever thought about converting a £50 note into making some money for a local charity across Northamptonshire or across Milton Keynes, the Franklins 50 Challenge is taking place very soon, actually. And I've got some great people that's joined me with Rosanna Stimson, who's the marketing manager from Franklins Solicitors. And I've got Nina Gandy from the Cynthia Spencer join me, Katie Vickers and Dean as well, Dean Jones from the Community Foundation, Northamptonshire Community Foundation. So welcome everybody. Rosanna, let's talk to you briefly first about what it's all about and everything. But before we do you want to introduce who Franklin Solicitors are and what you do?
Yeah, so Franklins Solicitors is a full service law firm. We have offices in Milton Keynes and in Northampton, and we serve the surrounding areas. And by full service, I mean we offer services for businesses and for personal, so things like conveyancing, family law, wills, trusts and probate, commercial property and all kinds of corporate business services. And we've been established for 42 years, so we know both areas pretty well.
Yeah, great. And you're leading on this challenge that we were just talking about a minute ago, the Franklin's £50 challenge. So, quite exciting. It's where people can obviously take on an entrepreneurial activity to raise money for charities. But let's just talk a little bit about why you're actually running the challenge to convert the £50 into money for some of these fantastic charities.
Yeah, sure. Well, Franklins Solicitors has been involved in charity work for a long time. We've always supported lots of local charities, and we like to kind of give back to the community and get involved in the communities which we serve. And we find that the £50 challenge is a great way of getting to know new businesses in the area, new individuals, and kind of help raise awareness of what we do, but also highlight the work that the charities do, who make such a difference. So we've been doing the challenge since I think it's 2019. We had a bit of a break over COVID, but it's just got bigger year and year. I think we started out by supporting 3 charities. Last year it was 5. And this year we've moved to 8 charities, 4 from Milton Keynes and 4 from Northampton. And the way it basically works is we invite businesses to form a team or multiple teams. They choose one of our 8 charities that they want to support. And then Franklin's will give them £50. And they've got 3 months to turn that £50 into as much money as they can through various different fundraising activities.
I suppose I should ask, is that a £50 note or is it a £50 bank transfer that you transfer over to people?
It's really up to them. We can facilitate either of those, but they have £50 and they can, as long as it's legal, do what they like to turn it into as much money as they can.
Yeah, brilliant. And I think it's a fantastic challenge. It's an opportunity to people to show their entrepreneurial skills and convert, as I said, this £50 challenge into raising money from some of the charities. Do you want to talk a little bit about some of the charities that are actually involved in taking part in the programme this year?
Yeah, so from Northampton, we've got Cynthia Spencer and we've got the Northampton Community Foundation who are here today. And then we've also got the Lewis Foundation and Hope Centre. And then from Milton Keynes, we've got YMCA, MK Act, Willen Hospice, and Harry's Rainbow. And all of the charities are different. They all do amazing work. But the theme that we have is kind of fighting hunger, fueling wellness, and changing local lives. So they're all local charities. They all do amazing work and they all make a big difference in the area. So any one of those charities would, very worthy of support.
Yeah, and anybody can take up this challenge, is that right? Does it have to be a business that takes it up, or can community groups get involved as well?
It's primarily businesses, but that can be businesses large and small. So we've had sole traders taking part, and then we've had, Travis Perkins, John Lewis. So really businesses of any type of size. We haven't had as many community groups being involved, but they could potentially be involved as well. So as long as you can kind of get a team together, it doesn't have to be a big team. We have an awards ceremony at the end and we recognise all the teams that have taken part, and we have awards we have, for example, Small Business Superstar. So you're not comparing the amounts raised from a small business with a huge business. So it's just really about taking part, team building, having lots of fun, getting creative, and just, doing something good for the community at the same time.
Yeah, well, brilliant. Well done on pulling this together. There is a website for it, which will come on towards the end of what we're talking about. But as I said, we've got Nina and we've got Katie and Dean with us today as well. So Nina, let's talk to you. You're from Cynthia Spencer Hospice. Just as a way of introduction, do you want to tell people exactly what the hospice does within Northampton and what your experience has been of the challenge so far?
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Simon. So, I am the corporate fundraiser for Cynthia Spencer Hospice. So Cynthia Spencer provides support for those that are living with a life-limiting illness across this part of the county. So we also have our sister hospice that does kind of Wellingborough, Corby over that way. But we cover this side of the county. And like I say, it's for patients who are living with a life-limiting illness. We have 16 beds at our inpatient unit down at the hospice. And we also run, amongst other services, a hospice at home care and support as well for those that wish to die within their own homes. So a real vital, a vital service for this part of the county.
Yeah, it is a vital service from what we've seen around the community and some of where we've met you across the business networks and everything. So, and again, well done for everything you're doing, because it is a vital service that you're delivering there for the area and for local people. Now, talking about the actual challenge itself, obviously, it's your first time, or have you done this challenge before?
No, so Cynthia Spencer's been really lucky. So we have literally been part of the Franklins £50 challenge since the very beginning. We've been part of it every year. So a huge thanks to Franklins, obviously, for considering us and taking us on board as one of their chosen charities every year. And over that time, we've seen sort of a range of different businesses that have taken part. And as Rosanna said, that's from, the sole traders all the way up to those like Travis Perkins, the Nationwides that are some key businesses within our local community. And we've been really well supported through this challenge. And to give you an idea for in terms of the money that we have to raise as a charity to support the hospice, daily that works out just sort of around the £6,000 mark. So things like this that are open to the local business community are really key in terms of engagement and raising funds, so that we can continue those vital services for our patients and support their families as well.
Yeah, and if any businesses that want to engage, and take part in the challenge, how closely do you as a charity work with that business to actually help them to maximise the opportunity of converting that £50 note into some of those amounts that you just mentioned?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I say, because we've been lucky enough to work and be part of the Franklins £50 challenge, and work with local businesses over that kind of extended period of time since this has been happening. I think this has sort of developed as the years have gone on. So some businesses at the beginning probably chose a little more to go off and do things on their own, whereas I really try to work with all of the businesses that are involved to ensure, along with what Franklins have provided us, that they've got a key calendar of events throughout the time that the challenge runs. So over the period this time, we've got things like Easter, Mother's Day, all those kinds of key events that at the end of the day, Easter raffles and things like that, you can really kind of use those events to put on different things within the business to raise some key funds. So I think really it's about sitting down, looking at what's coming up, looking what capacity each business has got, whether they might do like a one-off event like 146, for example, that have done the challenge with us over many years. Dave has got a fantastic barbecue that he runs pretty much every year. That's been such a fantastic event, but some businesses prefer not just to do like a one-off. They try to use their money over a number of weeks and do kind of a number of events throughout that time. So again, it really depends on the size, the capacity, the timescale, all things like that. But what I try to do is at least engage with them sort of once a week, once a fortnight, to see what businesses are up to. And then they get to see a little bit about what others are up to as well, because it's a bit of healthy competition at the end of the day. So I think that's a really important part of it, because I know that there are businesses out there that definitely want to win.
Yeah, competitive always comes into it, I'd imagine. And of course, ultimately, it's not about winning, is it? It is about raising that funds. But that competitive nature is always going to be there, especially around business people, isn't it? And
Absolutely.
yeah, I can imagine it's quite good fun as well when you see some of the entrepreneurial ideas of how to convert that money into something more meaningful as well to the charity. But what does it actually mean to yourself as a charity when people actually take up this challenge? Because obviously you've got people coming towards you saying, "Look, we want to take this on." It must mean something to yourselves when you get people coming forward.
Absolutely. And I think, that target of what we have to raise on a daily basis that I mentioned earlier on, that's always at the forefront of our minds. But we're also really keen as well, and I get this a lot when I'm out and about talking to local businesses, to not only engage with the local community in terms of fundraising, but also find out why they want to support us as a charity. So what we do in terms of a hospice, it's not something that you wish people have had to have a lot of time spent with us or a lot of engagement, or their family member is being cared for. But at the end of the day, we are a service that is there, and if it is needed, and that's what we try to spread the word about. So through that fundraising as well, I often hear about individual stories where, someone's family member might have been cared for by us, and that's why they want to engage and essentially give something back. So that's, not on just an individual getting involved, but how they can engage within their team and in their business as well. And I think that's a really important part of it.
Sure. Well, look forward to seeing what's going to happen with the support of people coming forward to help you, then convert that £50 into raising money for you. Dean, let's come to you now with the Community Foundation. Do you want to give us an introduction to what you do within Northamptonshire and, why you're looking forward to being involved this year?
Yeah, thank you, Simon. Thanks very much for helping to raise the profile of this particular campaign through the Franklins 50 campaign. And thanks, obviously, to Franklins for inviting Northamptonshire Community Foundation to be one of the sort of chosen charities out of the 8 really good charities doing amazing work in the community. We sort of really feel very privileged to be involved. And as I said, each charity does amazing things, but it also gives businesses the opportunity to do amazing things as well. So I think everybody wins, everybody gets an opportunity to shine, and it raises the profile of the activities of each of the organisations that are involved. So from our perspective, we're a grant-giving organisation. That's how people would view us normally. But throughout the year, we do run our own bespoke campaigns. And in our earlier interview, I mentioned that we just finished a campaign for Warm This Winter to support the vulnerable and elderly during the winter months. And we launched, prior to that Warm This Winter campaign, a campaign called Shining a Spotlight on Rural Community Needs. And the purpose and the aim of that particular campaign is to ring fence a sum of money that supports the most vulnerable and those that are most challenged in rural communities. So all of the issues that we hear and know about that exist in and around the county through the cost of living crisis, through fuel poverty, food poverty, all of those things, homelessness, they all exist within rural communities. And it's our role from a leadership or a charitable leadership perspective to raise the profile of some of these issues and then try and tackle them. So we're ring fencing £200,000. That's our aim. That's our goal, to support those rural communities and the individuals within them who might be struggling at this particular time for all those reasons I've just mentioned. We're really lucky that we've had a match fund initiative put in place through the support of the Constance Travis Fund. Tony Travis has already been mentioned earlier in the conversation. So he's set aside £100,000 of his fund. And for every pound that we raise, either through the Franklins 50 or outside of it, they will match pound for pound. So that will help us get closer to our 200,000 target. We're currently £30,000 away from hitting our £200,000 target, which will enable us to release those funds to the community groups that could really benefit. So it's, as I say, it's really, we're very grateful to Franklins for involving us. It's not something that we've taken part in previously, something we've had our eye on previously. I think it's probably one of the best examples of how businesses really can be involved in supporting their local charities. And congratulations to Franklins on what I think is it really covers all angles. Because as Rosanna mentioned, each of the charities do different things and support different areas of need within the county. And the work that Cynthia Spencer does, that Nina's just been talking about, and Hope and the Lewis Foundation and the others that are in Milton Keynes, that they're all very, very worthy causes. So what I would say to businesses is align your support with an area that you're particularly interested in. Hopefully there'll be some businesses out there that are interested in the needs of the rural communities, but equally those that are dealing with cancer or with homelessness and support for health issues and things like that. So there's something I hope for everyone. And once again, thanks for giving us the opportunity to talk about it.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, obviously, when I first saw the challenge, we published a press release about it. We're keen to make people aware of it around the area so people can see, the opportunity of being involved and taking them back to a bit of the apprentice style challenge of raising money and, raising money for good causes. And there's 8 great causes here. It's your first time you've been involved. How closely are you going to work with, some of the people that come forward? Is it something that you'd work quite closely with those that are willing to take up the challenge?
Yeah, I think, as I said, I think people are likely to want to support this campaign if they understand the needs that exist within rural communities. So we're kind of appealing to businesses that perhaps base themselves in rural communities and see the people around them and the community around them as their kind of key stakeholders and their neighbours, and want to do something to support those who are most vulnerable within that particular group. And we'll definitely do all we can to sort of support them in ideas around how they could go about fundraising. And Franklins have actually been really helpful in providing a really useful pack to businesses that sort of gives them some support around what sort of things that they can do. So the car washes and the sports days and the tabletop sales and all those things, they will all contribute to raising as much money as we all can to support some of these really big challenges and issues in the county.
And what does it mean to yourselves as the charity when people are looking to take up this challenge? Because again, we know some of the work that you put into the community, into the county as well. But when you get people coming forward wanting to take up a challenge to raise funds for you, I mean, that must mean something.
And any support that we get, and philanthropy comes in all different forms. It doesn't just come through money; it comes through time and other things as well, and endorsement and advocacy and talking about us in a positive way. So any support, and I'm sure Nina and any of the charities that are taking part and beyond will welcome any kind of support. But in the end, we can't get things done without the vital funds. And Nina highlighted how much is needed for their charity, for Cynthia Spencer to exist and operate on a daily basis. All of those charities have those similar needs, and we're not removed from that either. We obviously need funds to be able to do the work that we do. Time and volunteering is really great, but money goes a long way.
Yeah. Now, Rosanna, I suppose we should really come to you at this point and say, how can people actually get involved in taking up this challenge? Because we've heard from 2 charities here out of the 8 as to what their involvement is and what it means to them. But how can people that are listening in or want to understand more information actually take up the challenge?
Okay, it's really, really easy to sign up. So you just go to franklins50.co.uk. You'll land on the website. If you're not sure which charity you wish to support, there's there's a video from each one, so you can watch them, and they all explain what the difference that your support will make to them. And then there's a really short form. You just select which charity you want to support. When you submit that will come through to the marketing team at Franklins, and we'll then get in touch with you with everything that you need and arrange to transfer the money. So yeah, it's really, really simple. And what I think we haven't said yet is the dates that the campaign runs. So it starts on the 20th of February and it runs through to the 21st of May. So you've got 3 months from the 20th of February. So you can sign up until that point, up until the point it starts. So we're really kind of pushing it now because it's less than a month away till it starts. We've already had, I think it's 23 teams signing up so far. We're hoping to get it up to at least 40. So but there's no limit to how many teams can be involved.
Yeah, quite right. The dates, 20th of February to the 21st of May is when the actual challenge takes place, to convert that £50 into as much money as you can for your chosen charity or your nominated cause. And the website, you say it's franklins50.co.uk.
Yeah, that's right. franklins50.co.uk.
And I've actually managed to put it up as we're speaking now, actually, and I can see it's very
brilliant.
straightforward to do. And obviously you've got the message on there: fighting hunger, fueling wellness, and changing local lives. And I think it's a great statement to make when you've obviously set out this challenge for local people to take up this challenge and raise money for their chosen cause. So, anything closing words from yourself, Rosanna? Is there anything else you wanted to add in, really, just to sort of summarise what we've been talking about?
Just to reiterate what Dean said, really, I think he hit the nail on the head where he says it's win-win for everybody, because obviously the charities win because they get lots of money raised, to help them run and continue with their work. From a business point of view, it's brilliant for team building and employee engagement. Great for your corporate social responsibility. It's an opportunity to get creative and raise awareness for your brand and just make a difference in the local community. So I really think it's just really positive all round.
Brilliant. And Nina, is there anything you wanted to add to as a closing statement as well?
I just agree with what Rosanna said, really. I think the entrepreneurial side of it and pushing people out of their comfort zone. Maybe there's someone sitting in an office somewhere that's got a lot of entrepreneurial skills that don't necessarily get seen on a daily basis, or maybe within their current role or something like that. And I think the team building aspect that businesses have got out of it in the past as well, from, bringing different people together from different departments, and also boosting team morale as well, because that little bit of competitiveness that we spoke about earlier on really drives some people as well. So, whatever it is that might motivate people to take part in a challenge like this, it's definitely worth signing up and having a go.
Yeah, great. And Dean, final question to you as well. I mean, is there anything you wanted to add just to, really sort of just close off the conversation?
Really simple message is go to the Franklins 50 campaign, take a look at the charities that are there. Pick the one that you like the look of most, sign up and start raising some funds.
Oh, I like that. Sounds good. That's what we're all here for, isn't it? Raise some money for some great charities as well for the challenge. So we'll repeat it again. Franklins50.co.uk. That's the website you need to go to actually have a look at getting involved, signing up. Our commitment, and I'm gonna say this, our commitment from our organisation will be to support this challenge as well. We're happy to keep pushing some of the incentives, activities that are going on. So any businesses or organisations or community groups that are going to get involved in the charity, Rosanna, if you can get them to us, that we can help to publicise some of the events they may be putting on, send it over to us. Let's get this message moving further and see what we can do to raise as much money between not only ourselves but obviously the other people that are obviously taking up the challenge as well. So thank you all for joining me. It's great to hear about this and to hear some of the hard work that goes on in charity fundraising as well, which we know is not easy in the current climate. But obviously, this £50 challenge can add a bit of drive and incentive to raising money. So thanks once again for joining me, and good luck with it all.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Simon.
Thanks, Simon.